Hawaii Blues fan. We're bleeding blue with you. Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues! Let's go Blues!
And aloha! I'm Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, and nobody's watching me again. Let me see if I can go on and see if I'm coming live on all the spots I'm supposed to be coming live on. Let's see here. Let's go to YouTube. And if you're seeing me or hearing me, please leave me a little message. It would be neat. I love that. So right now we're having some technical difficulties, but I wanted to come on. You know what? When I do the show, a lot of times it's all about hockey, and some guys, they don't really, some people don't, they know me, but they don't know me. And I got a couple of buddies out there, and one of them was like, you know what? Sometimes you just talk too much about yourself. Why don't you go out there and just talk about, okay, well, that one's working. Okay, so YouTube's working. Let's go over here and try Facebook. Right. So I'm trying to get this all set up. I'm still learning this setup and doing some of this thing. So you guys can bear with me. So what we're going to do today is, if I can get my buddy on, he's working on his stuff right now, trying to see if he can get it on. We're having, again, technical, or if you watch the Vic Porcelli, dognical issues. I love that when he did that, said that, man, dognical. That was absolutely funny. Okay, now that looks like that's playing okay. Yeah, so that's playing. And the only viewer is me, but that's fine. Okay, so now let's go over here. Oh, no, don't do it that way. There's a better way of doing it. Come over here. Oh, man. So, yes, we're going live. I haven't started recording everything yet. I'm going to record it here in a little bit and get going and see what happens. But you know what? This is going to be interesting. You guys are going to get to hear about things that I've done. And some of the friendships that I've created, not just blues friendships, but absolute absolute wow. I just lost my place at something that came up, but absolute no, I'm sorry. People that have known me for a really, really long time, and have known, all the things that I've done and been through and stuff like that. So, this is going to be a fun session. I want you guys to get involved, right? I really do. That there is something, you guys can comment, and all your comments I'm going to see. And when you do comment, I can put it up on the board. I do hope you share this with your friends if you do see it. I'm going to take one of these links here real quick, if you don't mind. Copy it. I'm just trying to get some of my friends to maybe see this, and maybe you guys will like it and share it and post it out there. There we go. So, like I said, I'm still waiting for my buddy to come back on, and hopefully he does. If not, I'll just talk about some things, hockey-wise, and other than that. But this is a good chance for you guys to really get to know who I am and some things about me. It could be an interesting, fun time. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it, and you get involved, and that's what's important. Come on, get involved, have some fun. Things like that. You just never know what kind of fun it can be. And let me try something here real quick. Well, I know I got some other friends that are live right now too, so our other podcasters, so I can't get into them. So, oh well. And they actually kind of like me. So let's see what happens there and see if I can get some people to join in and watch this debacle that's about to happen. Oh, okay. Hey, Brian, can you hear me? No, I'm not hearing you. I'm going to try and bring you on.
There you go. Byron.
There we go. Now I can hear you, buddy.
There you go.
Yeah, now that I bring you in, I can hear you. So everybody, let me say a big Blue Note fan report welcome to one of my oldest shipmates. I mean, this guy met me on my second ship back in I want to say 91. I think you came right after the Gulf a little bit. In 91, and I've known Brian for a long time. We were and I say this in a joking term, Liberty buddies. But Brian's been a good friend of mine. And Brian, where are you actually living at now, buddy?
Well, you used to call me Brian all the time, and it's Byron.
Byron. I'm sorry, man.
That's normal, man. That's normal. They call me Byron, Brian, Ryan. Gosh.
I see. Now I remember calling you Dave a lot from your last name, Davenport. I just called you Dave. I said, Dave, get your ass over here. That's the way I was back then. I was kind of a jerky son of a bitch. But what the hell?
We said last names. It was that was normal.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, back then, absolutely, that was kind of normal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, have you got your green screen on?
I think so. Let me see.
You might want to turn it off because it's trying to green screen and you're really not in a green screen mode because I'm getting a whole bunch of little flakes. There we go. Much better.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better, buddy. So what I was telling everybody, now that I got you on, I was kind of letting them know, I'm recording this and, it'll go on the channel and people can come back and watch it later. So whether they're watching this now or not doesn't matter. But this is kind of like you talk to me about when I do the show that sometimes, people don't really know me, right? They don't they see the persona, but they don't know me. And you thought it would be a good thing to sit there and talk about, some of the days back in the day, 30 fucking years ago, when we served together and some of the stuff. Now we were supposed to have a third person, but unfortunately he's delayed. I hope only he will get on here before we go off air. But so like I was saying earlier, and we'll get into this a little bit. So you and me, you came on board, I want to say right around April of 91, April or May, right after we got back from the Gulf.
Yeah.
And this was kind of a weird period, you might say. Here's a ship that just spent 3 months, 4 months, 5 months of deployed, and here they are coming back, and they're going to go right into this inspection cycle. Mm-hmm. And normally the inspection cycle is before you deploy, not after you deploy, right?
Right.
So we hit right in. So you got in there. You were with that group of guys that got right in there and got thrown right into the bilges. Get your asses down there and clean, right? And so you got me and some of the crew at a really interesting point. So a lot of us, a little backstory. The Mobile Bay transferred over from Mayport, Florida.
Well, remember we passed the equator together too. We passed the equator. I was there with you. The equator.
That was the second time. Actually, that was the first time you passed. It was the second time I passed it.
Yeah.
I put that shell back on your ass. So we'll talk about that. Was the Australia trip. That was Coral Sea. That was the battle. That was the 50th anniversary of the Battle of Coral Sea. I remember that. That was an interesting little cruise. But going back, so the Bay is comes over to Japan in August of 90, and then the crap breaks out in the Gulf. And instead of getting that time to settle in to being in Japan, she got sent right out. Well, so these guys are really going through an interesting time frame. Normally you get a month or so to settle into your new home port. Your families are moving over. Everything's changed, right? It's totally different from being in the U.S. The things that you take for granted are gone. you don't have overnight liberty. You're not allowed to when you're finished working to go home and then come back the next day. A lot of these guys, when they got to the ship, they were put on what was called Cinderella or Midnight Liberty. And this is guys that are 20, 22, 23, not young guys. These are not just all young guys. These are guys in their 20s. So these guys are coming in when we're getting into this cycle. And guys like me who had been through the Gulf War were really, we had never had a chance to let that steam go. Even though we had a couple port visits, it was still all bottled up. And so you come in and none of us were nice to you guys, and I get it.
We were like freshmen, but
yeah.
But we also did the no-fly zone. I was during that time too.
Yeah. That was part of, that was an interesting cruise. So it starts off. So normally when you're in the Navy and you go on these deployments, you have like this transit time, then you have post-transit port visit, then you go out and you do your work, and then you have your fun port visits. Right. Now this one, the one that he's talking about, we started it off with the fun port visits in Australia. We went down to Sydney after the 50th anniversary of Coral Sea. So we go down for this anniversary and we get to shoot guns. We had target practice on an old ship. We're cutting circles. We're throwing reefs. We're doing all kinds of ceremonies. And then we turn around and go to the Gulf. Mm-hmm. Well, on the way to the Gulf, that's when this no-fly shit started. And so we become part of that, and we have to go sit in a launch basket in the same damn minefield that I sat in for 30 days before. And I'm going to explain something. And Byron, you can elaborate on this a little bit. So if you've ever been around me, and you'll notice that I have this really bad startle reflex, right? There are moments where if a sound happens that I don't see happen, I will dive for cover. I will just go straight down. And you've probably seen it a lot. And I wasn't the only one that had that reflex, right? I mean,
I have it. Shoot.
Yeah. Right. So when we went back, that minefield we were in, there were no mines in it, but we thought there were. Mm-hmm. I was in it when there were mines in it, and yeah, we found mines. So it was really, so the reflexes and the things that you have to deal with, they were not. I'm kind of, it's hard to bring some of this shit up. And by the way, I got a beer in the freezer because it wasn't cold, so I'm gonna go grab it here in a second. But I'm gonna let you talk a little bit about what you know about me. Let you tell you a little bit about me, while I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go and grab my beer, so I can drink that beer. So you get to talk for a few minutes, Byron, about me. Okay?
Hey, but well, I can tell you one thing. He has the biggest heart. He may act tough, and but he's actually he's a real big teddy bear, and he has a big heart, and he cares about so much. And I'm so glad that I was able to reconnect with him and the other buddy that's supposed to be here with us. Gosh, we've been through a lot of things, from Philippines, Australia, Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore. I mean, we've been through so much. Guam. We've traveled the world. We've seen so many things that most people couldn't even imagine. In their just the things we've seen. And now I can tell you, he was jumpy, but that's all of us can get that way. And when we were out of the military, we still have to deal with a lot of things that we can never delete from our head. We have so many things, and I know you've had to learn how to delete things, and I've learned how to delete things. And because when I left the Mobile Bay, I went to the San Diego USS Juno, and then I was in the Oklahoma City bombing too. So I've seen, there's so many things. It's so hard to delete, right? It's so hard, man. And I give you props. I give you props for being able to really be, you blossom into an amazing host. You're you've gotten to the level of, I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you. And I see your shows, and I'm just so glad that you're able to make the connections that you're making, and eventually you're going to be worldwide, baby. Woo!
It would be cool. Well, actually, I kind of am already. I have fans. I have fans in Australia. I have a fan in the Netherlands. So I get around a little bit. I have a couple here in Hawaii, and
well, you're going to have a lot more. You're going to have a lot more. You know why? Because you have such a big heart. Okay.
Well, I appreciate that, man.
You just got to take all that metal away from that heart and let people in more. Yes or no? Just got to let people in, man. Sometimes you just got to say, okay, fine. Okay, fine.
There we go. I had to get it out.
Oh yeah, there's that hat. Man, I can't find any of my stuff. When I went to San Diego, they stole everything out of my locker, even all my pictures, everything from gold to everything, because I bought it in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and Abu Dhabi. Yeah. Remember that? Oh yeah. Do you remember the story of the guy? I don't know if you know him. We were in a rental car, and we were in Saudi Arabia and Bahrain going to Abu Dhabi, and he flipped the car upside down. Okay.
Yeah, I think that happened after me.
Okay.
I think that happened after I left.
Well, I was in that car when it flipped. We rented a car and we were upside down in our seat belts. And here comes the Saudi Arabian cops in a Jeep and machine guns, man. It was crazy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, so back then, we didn't have the handcuffs on us that are going on now. So I remember we're in after, so we're down in Australia, in kind of Australia's wintertime, our summertime, but Australia's wintertime. Mm-hmm. And a whole bunch of guys got hotel rooms at this hotel. And for some reason, the hotel thought it was neat to put us all on the second floor with a balcony on each room facing the pool.
Wrong.
You know what I'm going with this, right?
Mistake.
Most of us got kicked out of the hotel because a couple of the guys decided to do cannonballs off the second floor balconies. Couple beers in, and the 10-foot tall and bulletproof shit came right out, man. It just didn't take much at all.
Man, we partied like rock stars. I mean, come on.
Oh yeah. Well, it was kind of neat back then. Even in the early 90s, that dollar was kind of strong in most places. So you took a dollar in most places was more than a dollar everywhere else. Mm-hmm. I remember when we go to the Philippines, it was 25 baht to the dollar, and a beer was $5.
Yeah.
And other things that you could get there, you take $50 and you were set the whole port visit. It didn't take much. The things that happened back then were really I don't even know what the right word to say. Crazy isn't the right word, because we weren't crazy, but we were carefree. I think that's the best word there. We were very carefree.
Well, how old were you? You were how old when at that time?
I was probably 22.
Okay, so right? I was probably 18 or 19.
Yeah.
Because I'm 48.
I 22, 23, right around that period.
I wasn't even age drinking legal or leaking. I wasn't even legal drinking. But in Japan,
that was funny. Guys like you, see, in Japan they had a 20-year-old drinking, but it's kind of weird. For us, it's when you hit your 20th birthday. But in Japan, you don't get, if you're 20, let's say you turn 20 on January 17th, you can't drink until January 16th the following year until you have your coming of age day. They let us buy on that. And you know, they don't card a lot in Japan at all. You can, shit, I know 13-year-olds that drink over there. But when we go underway, you guys would love it because most of these ports we hit had no drinking age. You know, I think Australia had a drinking age, except they said it doesn't apply to us.
You know,
that was the thing that I remember.
It was a blur for me, kind of, because I partied like I didn't even know what there was a new meaning to party after Australia.
Oh yeah.
It was amazing. The people were amazing there.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was amazing there. I loved it.
Oh yeah, it definitely takes you to a new level. It was and I've got a bunch of Australian fans. I've got 3 or 4 of them that watch me pretty regularly, so they'll see this. I think I got one in Melbourne, and got another one in I want to say Sydney or over that way, or on the Gold Coast or something like that. I don't completely remember, but they're out. Oh, there we go. So Roland Spink's a buddy of mine. They're going to have this get together, a reunion Friday in St. Louis. I kind of wish I could be there with them, but I can't, unfortunately. But you know, it's great. Oh, here we go. This is what he says. We're gonna video. They're gonna video chat my ass. I may have to see if I can do a live for that one. That'll be a lot of fun.
I still can't believe you're alive, though. I'm sorry. We haven't talked in how many years?
Oh wow, it's been before we got reconnected. I want to say it's been close to 25. You know, probably around 25 or so. I left the Mobile Bay in '94. February 94 on another deployment. I left from almost the same place I got there from. So it was that feeling. Roland Spink, the guy who I showed that comment from, he's a really good friend. He's a big supporter of the Hawaii Blues fan, the show, and a good friend. He's become a good friend of mine. By the way, I wanted to put this out. I don't know if you know this. I'm drinking a Kona Longboard, and this is a beer. This is a St. Louis beer, actually. A group from St. Louis bought the Hawaiian Blue or the Kona Brewing Company, and I guess that's what the thing is green, so it's going through. You can't see the label.
Man, I want to get a beer. Where's my beer? Shoot.
Better go get one, bastard. So yeah, so guys, so Roland and anybody that's watching, you know, this isn't, you know, I'm not going to talk too much about hockey. This isn't a hockey show today. But what this show is about is me, and not just me, but people that know me and people that have been around me for a really long time. So my buddy Byron here, he actually does his own show on YouTube, and it's actually really neat. The only issue I have with your show is you don't have it subtitled yet.
Yeah.
Because you do it in Spanish, and I haven't been able to learn that damn language yet.
Well, okay. So the thing is,
go ahead and tell us about your show, bud.
So the thing is, I have to, you know, my show is in Peru, so I'm actually on the local cable channel here.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I went to culinary school in Peru, so I you know, I've been through this. It was all Spanish. There was no English.
Yeah.
And, you know, I lived in Mexico as a child for, God, I don't know how long. And I actually forgot a lot of my English. So I had to relearn everything. So, and I've been in Peru for almost 3 years now. So my show, it's called The Güerito Show. And the reason why it's called The Güerito Show is because when I was raised in Mexico, they were like, "Hey, güero, ¿qué pasó? Órale, vato." You know, that's what they called me. They called me the güero because, you know, when I was living in Mexico, I lived on the border of Laredo and Nuevo Laredo, Texas. So I lived in the frontier in the ghetto in Mexico. So, I fought for who I am there. You know what I'm saying? And now let me explain a little bit though. Güero is not the same thing as gringo,
Hmm.
because gringo is white or black, gringo. But this is, you can have blonde hair. I had really blonde hair when I was a kid.
Hmm.
And so my hair was blonde and they called me Güero because of my hair. So, and a lot of people, they kind of don't know what Güero is. So I'm kind of explaining that a little bit so that nobody thinks that it's one of those, nobody will go off the wall with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
They
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to they have to know exactly what it means before they can, but my show is a Peruvian fusion show with the world. And so I've been recording at all the Peruvian restaurants here, ceviche. I mean, I've also recorded at different I mean, so many different places, so many different culinary wonders, because I love food. I grew up in Mexico with my grandmother teaching me how to cook, and I just love to cook. And I love to make people happy. So my shows, I try to make them happy. I try to make them happy with food and craziness, because I get crazy in my shows sometimes, because
Yeah.
especially during this pandemic, a lot of people are bored from the regular YouTube, the regular blah blah blah. No, I don't want to do that, because the thing is, my show is for my mother.
Yeah.
Okay. My whole show has been dedicated to my mother, because my mother had multiple sclerosis and she was bedridden my whole life.
Hmm.
And, I would watch on the television with her the chef shows and all my children, soap operas. So, I have to say, yeah, it's my show, but when I die and close my eyes, I'm going to be able to dance with my mother, because I've never danced with my mother. And
Yeah.
that's what my dream is, to where I can show the world her legacy through my eyes, I guess, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. It really does. And I say that, in a kind of different way, or the reason I say that is because now you knew me back in the day, right? And I was hockey centric back then, right? I mean, you think all I wear blues is now. You should have seen me back then. You did not see me go out without a blues jersey, a blues jacket, talking and watching hockey. As soon as the newspaper came in during hockey season, I mean, if someone was reading it, I'd steal it off and go look at the hockey scores, right? Even though they were day old, then if I didn't know them, I'd be pulling them. And guys knew it too. I mean, they would like take the back pages and put it on the mess tables
Yep.
if they see me coming around, because they knew I was taking the news. If I didn't have it, I was taking it. So,
Yeah, you're a blues freak.
yeah,
I know that about you. You've always
yeah,
been a blues freak.
yeah,
You had a blue jean jacket too, didn't you?
yeah, yeah. I still have that. It's
Oh, wow.
yeah, I still have that. I still have that jacket. It had blues on the back. It wasn't jeans, but it looked like it. You know. Um, oh yeah, there you go. That's
Oh,
you
there it is.
guys can see his logo there.
I got a logo.
Yeah.
Nobody can show. There you go.
So you guys can check that out on YouTube, and I posted it a couple of times in the Hawaii Blues Fan Clan group. I posted a couple of his things, and when he sends me things, I try and get them posted out there for you guys to let you know about them and see what's happening. So
Definitely. I want to share. I've been sharing your stuff too, man. I want
yeah.
I want the world to really know your heart,
Mm.
because you have a big heart. And the thing is, until the world knows your heart, you'll never be able to show it.
Yeah, and I try. I guess that's just
Mhm.
I was part of being. So I got thrusted into a leadership role really young. Um,
Mhm.
you weren't. I know you hadn't gotten there yet, but you probably heard a lot about it during the Gulf War, during the first Gulf War. This was the Mobile Bay was my second ship. I had just put on E5 second class, and they had stuck me back in repair 5. Now I hadn't. The funny thing is on my first boat, I graduated from repair 5 pretty quickly, and was an operator, an engine room operator in 3 generator in the back generator section. I kind of ran that generator. So here they put me back in the repair locker. Yeah, okay, no problem. You know, you do what you got to do. But they decided during the Gulf War to start that first night that they were going to put us in different sections, right, and then lock us down. So if something happened, we were already around. We weren't all in one spot. That was something that they were worried about. You know, everybody being in one spot, and you know, then something happened. And so they'd separated us up. They had put me across on the opposite side of the repair locker. And a repair locker is really hard to explain. It's basically this empty space that all our damage control stuff is in, right? That's what a repair locker is. That's where the repair locker leader and the scene leader and the guys that need to run the locker are in.
It has to be organized, and that's what you did. You organized everything.
Yeah. So I was put on the back side with like 4 or 5 guys, and actually about 6 guys. And no one had been in the Navy more than 2 years, you know, and so, you know, I had to, so I'm sitting back there with these guys, and I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm just as freaked out as they are, you know, and here it is. I'm supposed to be a leader to these guys, and it kind of thrust you. So even after that, going into this cycle, I was already I qualified the highest station in the engine room. The first week I was on board. I mean, I just requalified because I already been through it all. So they just had me run drills, run a board, and you know, here now I'm qualified again. And you know, I'm starting to. So when you guys came, I was kind of one of the guys that was told to take you guys and put you guys in the cleaning stations, you know, and do all this, you know. And I was told, you know, don't be their friend, be their boss, and that's hard to do. It's really hard to do when you live with these guys 24/7. It's really hard for them to understand that there are things that you have to do that they don't like you doing to them.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because you live with them 24/7, it doesn't end when you go out the door. When you go into the berthing, they're still pissed at you, even though you have switched the switch. And a lot of people didn't understand how I could do that. How I could yell at the guys in the engine room, you know, I mean, get your ass in there, stop fucking around, pardon me, stop effing around, get down there, do what you need to do so we can get this done. From that to, hey guys, let's go out and do something. You know, people didn't understand how I could switch like that.
Well, because the thing is, people don't understand organized people at the same time. And when you're organized, you are able to organize your brain a lot quicker than most.
Yeah.
Because you have to do that, because if you go off the ship or go to bed mad on a ship, you really can't sleep because you're already scared.
Yep. Yeah. You got that. That is another thing that you learn in the service, and people will never understand. You can sleep just about anywhere. Yeah. So a 20-hour day, and I'm talking a 20-hour work day, was common. Yeah. Because it's not like we didn't work 9 to 5. We had a working hour period. But even after that, you would be out, you would have what they call watch. And when you had this watch, you were basically working again. You could work, you know, midnight to 4 in the morning.
So and then get up at 7:45.
And then get up, then have to be at quarters at 7:45, you know. So you're not really you never got into a sleep cycle. You never really did. And one of the things that a lot of engineering did that was different than everybody else is we didn't shift the watches, or they called them dog the watches. They dogged them every day. We dogged them once a week. So as soon as you got used to one set of sleeping patterns, you would flip to another one. So if you got 30 minutes of free time, you were closing your eyes. right?
Yeah,
I
in
mean,
the passageway, sleeping in the passageway under a pipe.
oh yeah, you know, I would,
Yeah.
at one point I became the second oil king, or I wasn't the senior oil king, but I knew that, you know, everybody kind of, to my knowledge, kind of reflected to my knowledge. And there were times where, you know, I'd been up for, I know you've seen it because with flight quarters and that, I'd been up for like 2 or 3 days at a time. I would
Mhm.
sit on the mess deck, basically eat while I was asleep.
Like a
Right?
zombie. You were a
Yeah, like
walking,
a,
dude, you would be a walking zombie, but whenever Liberty Call hit, dude, you were the fastest one. You would make sure everybody's got their shit together to get there. Right? You love to party, man. Come on.
yeah.
Everybody.
Well, and part of that was because it was, you couldn't, you had to escape,
Yeah.
right? You had to escape. We'd spend, now I'd spent, I've had 2, 4, 6, I think 8 beers at sea. And what that means is I was at sea for 45 days or more. I know you were there for one of them.
Mhm.
When we came out of Australia, we ended up hitting that 45-day mark. But during the Gulf War, we hit 90 days. So we had 2 there. And then on another ship, I did it. So I've had that experience of just being out there that for this very long, extended period of time. And it's not a fun thing to do. It really isn't.
It's like
Um,
prison.
yeah, you know what? One of the things that a lot of guys that do, if you ever watch the movie, oh, what was that, Shawshank Redemption?
Yeah.
They talk about being institutionalized. Well, that happens to a lot of guys in the military after about 10, 15 years. You become very institutionalized.
That's right.
I still call the bathroom a head. I'm going to the head, right? I need to get chow. I want to get
You
chow.
know,
I
it's
haven't
funny when
eaten.
I got out, I was like, hey, where's the head? They're like,
On your shoulders?
and you know, it's like a lot of people, you know, scuttlebutt, you
Yeah.
know, words like that, they just have no idea what it is.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's really interesting about the Navy in those days, it's not so much now, but
Mm.
back then, we could take the word fuck and make a complete sentence out of it.
Right? We
Oh,
could.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know,
It was normal.
yeah, it was normal to just
Yeah.
use that word as an adjective, a verb, a noun, uh, what do you call it? Pronoun. You name it, we used it. You know.
Every which way. And you know, it came from a guy's name. It
No,
really
actually,
the
no,
name of
actually, what I learned about the word is it's an acronym. It's actually an acronym
huh?
for unlawful carnal knowledge.
Hmm.
You might want to look that up.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. Keep on talking.
Yeah, no, I learned a while back, man, that it was an acronym for unlawful carnal knowledge. There you go. You learned something on this fucked up show.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Here we go. It says F is a profane English name which refers to okay, da 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 da. Where is the origins of this sucker?
Yeah.
The word oh yeah, there's so much about this.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Oh yeah. So keep on going. So you know, we really did make that into like
Yeah.
a daily but you know, we also put each other down all the time. We all put each other down because there
Yeah.
was nothing else to do.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say it was much as putting each other down as it was ragging on each other. And
Yeah.
see, now I was in a group on Facebook, and they thought that what they were doing was busting balls, and I got really upset over it because they weren't busting balls; they were being bullies. We knew how to bust balls without hurting somebody. You know, we didn't go after people. You know, you could say things. You know, you could say things when you said them, you understood them, you know, and trust me, we said some stuff. Ooh, we said things that I don't even want to repeat anymore, and I got a bad mouth. You know, it's really interesting when stuff like that comes out and things like that happen. It's just it's hard to explain, but when you look at what we've been through from back then, like I did 20. I think you said you did 6 or 8.
Yeah, I did about 10.
10, so you're right around 10. And,
Yep.
and when we were in there, there were guys that were in the Navy that used their position of power as a position of strength. And I say that literally. They would use that as a mental tool to bring guys down, to tear guys apart. See, and this is why, like, I think maybe you understand it now. When I left the engine room, I flipped that switch,
Mhm.
right? Because I wanted you to know that what I did down there and what I did here were two different things,
Mhm.
right? When we were taking on fuel,
Well,
I knew.
before you say something, I mean, we had to be dedicated. We signed up to serve our country. So
Yeah.
when we're serving our country, we give it 120, 200,000. But when it comes to ourselves, we are our own worst enemy.
Yes, that is a very, very good analogy.
Well, so go ahead. I just had to put that in there because it was like it was in my mind. Because
Yeah,
we
no,
are,
no, no. That's a pretty good analogy there,
yeah.
about what that was like. The thing that some people will not completely understand, we've we've been out, and this happened during that deployment you were talking about, where we did the no-fly zone stuff. We were out in the Gulf, and at, I think it was 11:15 at night. So from 2200 or 10 p.m. to 0600, you're not allowed to use the loudspeaker or the ship's intercom system. So at about 11:15, the CO gets on the 1MC, the intercom system, and goes, "Gentlemen, we have a situation arising here. We've been ordered to immediately steam to a position that I cannot say what that position is. Um, we are going to set general quarters in about 7 minutes. Please be ready. I do not know how long it's going to be." And then he announces to the engineering, make turns for 30 knots
Mhm.
and full power 30 knots. So at this point, I mean, that's just what the CO says. He's not even telling us, and we're on a ship. There's nobody around us, and he's not even telling us where we're going. We basically sat in the basket, ready to, what they called a preloading, pre-launch basket. They were ready to launch missiles again at an air base. So that's kind of some of the stuff that, why we tick and work the way we work, and why sometimes I'm a bastard to be around, because the things that we've done
Were you there?
have made you.
Were you there for the volcano eruption, the
Yep,
Philippines? So we
yep,
were there. Remember when we we were pulling out dead people, all kinds of
yep.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
That stuff stays in our head, man.
Oh yeah, it does. There was a hotel or an apartment complex that collapsed from the weight of the ash,
Mhm.
and this complex apparently had
Mhm.
Americans in it. Well, the Americans were people's girlfriends, basically,
Right.
and we got tagged to go dig this place out, and and I don't want to say this on camera, but a lot of guys lost it that day, and I was okay until I saw one thing, and I'm not going to say what that thing is, but
Yep.
and that stuff just it does stick with you,
Yep.
and I remember.
Bombing, dude, the Oklahoma City bombing. I was there for 3 nights straight doing
Yeah,
search and rescue because we were on Tinker Air Force Base in Oklahoma City, on
oh wow.
Dell City. So we
Mhm.
were, believe me, things like that. Just you can't just say, "Oh, let's go, baby, get it out. You know,
Yeah.
can't do that.
No, and you can, and it does shape a lot of what we do, and you know the things that we become, and like you know you taking your goal of you know you moving to Lima, Peru, going to culinary school down there, learning you know relearning a language you'd forgotten, and then have to learn another language that you've forgotten. You know that's stuff that's not the easiest thing to do, but when you do it, you get a sense of pride and accomplishment. Now, what a lot of people don't know is how the Hawaii Blues Fan Show started. You know some of this. So in 2018, January 2018, I went through a very rough period, and in February of 18, I basically my body shut down on me, quit, and I had one thought in my mind that was I was 170 feet from ending it. That's you know go up to the 22nd floor, take one step, and I was done. I basically collapsed. I called a few people and let them know. Well, you along with a few others that knew me from back then reached out to me after that visit and started really talking to me about things that were going on. I wasn't getting any help for some of the things that were still going on in my head. So I started the Navy sent me to this group therapy. And I didn't want to go, and because group therapy can be different, especially when you're in a military hospital. You're not in a place where you're free to say what you want to say.
No, you're still limited.
You're still very limited, so it's very uncomfortable. And I started doing live videos as this in a group about the group updates. You know what my group was, and that kind of transformed into what's now become the Hawaii Blues Fan Show. So this, just like the Ruido Show, is our therapy. This is how we, and this is, you know, if you watch just this 5 minutes, is it only 5 minutes you watch this 5 minutes, this is what's important. The things that we do now, whether you like them or not, for us internally, they're the best things that we could do. Because inside of us, we are time bombs that will explode if we don't do something to control that ticking sound. And we all hear it, and I hear it consistently. And it's really nice to know that people are out there that understand it. Well, man, we kind of been going on for a little bit, and I was hoping that John could jump in. We may just have to do another show later with him. Byron, I want to thank you for stopping by. And you know, I'm going to promote your show like you're promoting mine. Right, buddy? It's a great time. Thank you so much for stopping by.
And remember, the WaritoShow.com. WaritoShow.com has pictures of everything.
Yeah. Spell it out for everybody. Spell it out.
So TheWeritoShow. I'm sorry. TheWeritoShow.com.
Right. Well, one of the things that I always do on this show is to make sure everybody says this. Well, bud, it's been a fun time to be with you again. And you know what? I always think of you as this.
I love Hawaii, too. I love Hawaii. I've been to Honolulu many times. Love it.
Can't wait till you come back.
Yes. Hey, I'm going to get to try the restaurants there because that's what I'm going to be traveling all over the world, going to different restaurants eventually.
Can't wait, buddy. So this is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying aloha, mahalo. You got to know that I'm bleeding blue with you, and I can't wait to see you on the next Blue Note Fan Report. Aloha. Woo.